Hi guys, Carrie Nicholson here. I thought it was about time I started sharing some of the insights that I've acquired over the last far too many years about leadership and business and all the other things. And one of the things I thought I'd share with you today is about why it is that so few companies actually run their meetings with terms of engagement. I'll tell you what I mean by terms of engagement. Every company talks about these are our values, this is what we want to achieve, this is our mission, these are our ethos. I very rarely come across a company where they have a codified standard of behavior to how meetings are going to be run. Now, the reason I started thinking about this is I was asked to facilitate an interesting senior leadership team meeting for a client of mine recently. And one of the things that we wanted to do was for the first time set ground rules to how people behave, basic standards of behavior. Now, maybe you think that you don't need that, but actually every business should be doing this, and they should be doing it certainly for every senior leadership team meeting. Because if you don't codify the values that are important to you and say, this is how we want you to behave, then you're always going to have a challenge when you bring new people in. So if you think about what your values are, assuming you've actually worked out what your values are as a business, how would you codify those? What are the things that you would say that would make sure that everybody who came to one of those meetings knew the standards of behavior and had signed up to them? So would it be things like park your ego at the door? Would it be things like, this is not a meeting for point scoring. These meetings are never for point scorings. They're about how we work better so that we can drive the business forward. Would it be things like, be kind? Would it be things like, be honest, be transparent? Would it be things like, if you're having a problem, be open and share that with the rest of the team so that we can help you resolve it? In your head, it sounds like these are all really sensible and logical, and that every company would do things like that. But how many meetings have you been in which have been sabotaged, where you get right the way through the whole agenda, and you've been there an hour and a half or sometimes even longer, and you get to the final point on the agenda, and then all of a sudden somebody says to you, I've just got a point I'd like to raise at this point in time. And you think, oh God, that's us here for another 3 hours. Because that person has not been honest in terms of fitting in something that they want to talk about that's important to them, or that they just want their voice to be heard earlier on in the event. And here's another thing. How many times have you, when you were an employee rather than a leader, been sitting in a meeting and it's clear that that there are people there who want their voices to be heard, and so they talk over people, and they're waiting for people to finish talking so they can put their point in. They're not listening. So going in, being prepared to be engaged, that shouting loudest doesn't mean that your idea is the best. Learning to compromise for the best of the business is a really important thing. So why shouldn't you have that as ground rules? And I can talk about this all day now that I'm on a roll, but actually I've created a set of ground rules which are infinitely adaptable. But if you'd like to talk about how you could create ground rules that would make your meetings, and particularly your senior leadership team meetings, more productive, more efficient, and more nice, then get in contact with me. You can reach out to me at carrie@carrienicholson.com. You can send me a ping through LinkedIn. I'd love to talk to you because I can help you do this. And the difference that I've seen in businesses where they implement these is phenomenal. So let's talk.